Hi guys, it's me, Kathy. This is Handy or Yo. I'm here as your own personal Yule log today. I hope everybody's doing really well and you're not going too crazy waiting for all the stuff to happen. And anyway, so I hate to ask, but I'm going to ask. We've had some difficult things going on with Mr. Handy, and I've looked into, for a while now, I've looked into a product called Spooky 2, and it's a Rife machine. It has accessories and all that. I think I need the cold laser with the Spooky 2. And a guy named John White goes on and promotes it. He's the inventor from a couple years ago, I think, maybe a little more. And he's been on Michelle Fielding and Mark Atwood, I'm sure many others. And it's John, and the finger, the crooked finger and the whole thing, and John Jr., that's who I'm talking about. And so anyway, Spooky 2, TWO, is 159, and it's John F. Kennedy Jr. So I think we're going in the right direction, but we could use some help right now, and I'm going to ask for some donations. I never really make it that blunt, but I am. And so anyway, if you could help, I would appreciate it, and Mr. Handy would greatly appreciate it. And I'm not going to get all sappy, but anyway, it was invented by a man named Rife. I know I say my R is weird because I'm in New England, but it's Royal Rife. So I'm assuming that's Junior way back. And it's 109 and it equals 17 Timberlark, Nasera Jacera, Diana Spencer, Witness, and Hello George. So Royal Rife is all tied into this too, with 109. And John White is 112. And remember John here to help? It was online. I can't remember if it was only Twitter or where it was. And let's see, John Durham, who is our junior. And Awesome God in a flesh suit, which is hysterical. So Awesome God in a flesh suit. And it's funny because Mark Atwood calls his channel something about a meat suit. You know, he's in a cosmic meat suit, I think is how he puts it. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So I'm going by memory. You know how that is. So anyway, it helps heal cancer. And it's actually specifically approved by the FDA, which I don't know if that means a heck of a lot, but I go by gematria more than I do with the FDA. But anyway, the FDA approved it for brain cancer. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. Anyway, so I got to go on with Janine, in case you missed it. And Tom had me come on. It was a couple of weeks ago now. And I just wanted to emphasize what she said I got right. I didn't get to ask her a lot of questions, but I did get to ask her some. And she, let's see, I asked her this specifically. This is exactly how I said it. It was on the 22nd, I think. Did President Kennedy leave the Lincoln limo when in Dallas? And she said, at least a male left the Lincoln limo. So then I said, were there mannequins or like automatons, which is kind of like half robotic, under the raised rear seat of that limo? Because that's been what I've been saying for quite a while now. And she said, yes, definitely. So that was awesome. Thank you, Janine. And she said I could come on. She asked if I would go on the next week, but we haven't figured that out yet. So I'm excited. She even said do you want to come on and do something together, or something like that, she said. So there was a couple I didn't get to ask her here. Let's see. What did I miss? What is that? Okay, I didn't get to ask that. This was a good one. I asked her, let's see. I said, well, okay. I said, President Trump's "the best is yet to come," his phrase is 228, and that equals bigger than you can imagine. You know me so well. We're in this together, like two. And another one that I told her is 228. Melania is Jacqueline and Diana. Both of them take turns. And that was a yes. Okay, so I've been right. Isn't that cool to find out? You know, you get like a verification. So, I mean, I don't have to have a verification for me to think, yeah, this is right. But it felt pretty good. Yeah, and another thing that was 138 besides Donald Trump is, let's see, oh no, I'm sorry, I went on to Donald Trump, 138, sorry. And it's divine feminine and switch out she who is Eve, Jesus unit. And I was saying that President Trump, during that announcement speech for a supposed run in 2024, wasn't President Trump. I'm saying it was Diana. I think it was Diana. I can't even remember, but it wasn't President Trump. Okay, so the key thing is that he didn't announce running. So a lot of people were saying, oh, if he announced running, he's conceding 2020. I'm getting my numbers mixed up. So anyway, so that wasn't him. And let's see. And I asked her this, will we see the Kennedys in a fireside chat? And then I said at the same time, and will Jackie and Diana be veiled, like they're a real veil? Will they be veiled at that time? And she said, it's going to take time before we see it, but yes, there will be a chat, and yes, they will be veiled. I think that's like partly what another meaning of lifting the veil means. It's literal. I didn't get to ask her about my eclipse, but I'm still sure about it. And I even got some stuff about that today. I don't know if I'll get to it. You know, confirmations. So let's see. You know, and there's a phrase President Trump says. He says, this is true, and it equals Donald J. Trump. So this is 148. And Jennifer is Jackie. So I think Jennifer Mack, when you see her at different Patriot events, she's likely, when she's tall, she's Diana, and when she's short and petite, she's Jackie. And let's see. Yeah, I didn't get to ask that one. Yeah, I wish I had, but I didn't get to ask that one. Yeah, I think that was it on my questions, but it's pretty darn cool, wasn't it? And something else I wanted to tell you, I noticed that Truth Social's logo, just look at their logo anywhere on a search engine if you're not on it, and look at the logo, and the far left of the capital T is kind of like broken off. There's a gap on the left, which makes the capital T and a lowercase r. It's hard to explain, but anyway, if you look at it, you'll understand. So there's two R's in Truth Social. So there's the small r from the T, because it's, you know, chopped off on the left, and, you know, the T becomes like a small r is what I should say. And then there's the R in Truth, you know, TR. So it's interesting that there's two R's, isn't it? So I'm thinking that John Jr., who's Joseph, right? Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr. I'm thinking that there's not just one R, like the Aranon, like we kind of have been thinking about, that there's two of them, that they're both like a 9, because 9 is the most high number before you get to 10 and onward. So I've always heard that 9 is important that way. And so you take the two of them, you take President Kennedy and you take John Jr., and they're both the 9 value because they're both the most high, and you get 18, which is 18 is R. So I kind of think at this point that's what's going on with them. I think they're both kind of like R's, if you want to look at it that way. And today it was so fun. Well, it happened, I think it happened last night, but Professor Horatio, now he's an F Melonhead on YouTube, put a really fun video clip of Debbie Harry, Harry, and she was in Blondie. Remember that from late 70s, early 80s. And so anyway, the Muppets were on. It was Kermit the Frog. He was introducing Debbie Harry. And then the Muppets were the backup band and the backup singers. You know, I should say, well, the band and the backup singers. And at first I thought that Debbie Harry was Jackie, because Debbie Harry, if you use an IE for Debbie, it equals 70, and that's Jacqueline. So I thought I was all smart stuff, and I thought I had it figured out really quick. Well, shouldn't jump to conclusions. So I went back and I looked at exactly what he posted, because he made like a long, he doesn't usually make comments on his own videos, like right off, but it was very cryptic. You could kind of understand a good chunk of it, but then there was parts you couldn't figure out why it was written that way. So what he did was, on his own video, he said, Blondie / Deborah, Debra, and then Harry, Harry. And I noticed that there's 1 R in the Deborah, 2 in Harry. So to me, that's like President Trump and the 2 Johns, or, you know, depending on how you want to call them, John or Joe, and President Kennedy. And then he had a whole bunch of letters and numbers together. And they were all run together. Some of them you could tell that were what words they were, but they was all run together. There was no gaps. So I'll just read a little bit of it. Let's see. He had Elon. Like I said, it was all run together. ELONIAMIAMJUANFROG. On and on like that. So you should look at his post, Professor Horatio F. Melonhead, on YouTube. For one thing, it was really cute, you know, with the Muppets and everything. But for another thing, it had a whole other level of meaning for us. Let's see. So basically, what I did was I figured out what all the words were, divided everything up into words. And let's see, and then I got the values of everything. And what it turned out to be was almost every word that was in here, that was in his kind of cryptic phrasing, was valued 46. And 46 is 1. Okay, so, you know, like there was words in there like drain, ascend, excuse me, Elon, cheated, robbed. I mean, I win is 40. All those were 46. And at the end it said, let's see, be clear, cheated, robbed, I win, Diana Q, JFK, ST, DOG. Well, to me that was JFK is I added, is a saint, ST for saint, and God, not dog. So that's basically what he's saying. And then I did Kermit, because, you know, the frogs were all supposed to be like the frogs that are descending on them. Kermit is 76. It equals what President Trump said, a magic wand. We must need a magic wand. And JFK alive, that's 76 Kermit. And George's plural is 76 Kermit. So that's leaning you towards Juan again, you know, the JF Jr. So frog is 46 and it's Juan. And like I said, all these coded words up above in his comment, Professor Melonhead's comment, were 46 value. And then he wrote, right above that, he wrote Blondie / Deborah Harry, but it's 161. And this is just telling you what's going on right here. You don't need me to understand what's going on at this point, but I'm going to tell you this is what he's saying. Okay, 161 is, shall we play a game? The final warning. Final call, God wins. Greatest event. Done in 30, which is our cue phrase. Done in 30. And we used to think, at least I did, I used to think that meant, you know, General Flynn would be out of jail in 30 days and all this kind of thing. And I was wrong. And it equals one of these days, like coming up, right? One of these days. And it equals, let's see, to the moon. And Juan said that one time. He goes, to the moon, something. It wasn't exactly that. It was real close. And Ralph Cramden, the character on The Honeymooners, he would say, he's played by Jackie Gleason, and he would say, one of these days, Alice, pow, right to the moon. And he was, of course, he never hit her, but he was frustrated, you know. And so Jackie Gleason is alive in a Clouseau video, and he's right up behind President Trump. I think it might have been at the Miami rally. And it's in one of the more recent Clouseaus, the newer ones. Okay, what else is 161? Done in 30, Law of War Manual. Do you hear that? We're going to hear all this stuff, like it's going to sound like the nuclear bombs going off. And I was saying a prayer the other day, please help me get through this. I know it's going to come up. And if we hear that kind of thing, like I'm thinking, I'm going to freak out. I have a problem with loud noises. I don't like fireworks. I can't even imagine hearing something like that. Okay, humans get ready. Makes me think of an alien kind of situation. American Civil War. So besides the World War III, might look like that. Juan said stuff about that, but you know how he goes back and forth and you're wondering, does he mean this or does he mean that? You can't quite figure him out because he's a lot of things he says you have to mirror to the opposite, which you've probably figured out by now. He's in the beginning, and for quite a while, he told you, excuse me, everything the way it was, you know, sorry, jeepers. He told you things the way they were and the truth about what was going on behind the scenes and all. But at this point in time, I think his job is to kind of make you stop and think and not rely on him. So he doesn't want everybody to just depend on what he's saying. He wants you to think. Sorry. Okay. American Civil War. Flip the script. So I already did on a video. It was about, I can't remember if it's in the title, but it wasn't too long ago. And I was discussing Washington crossing the Delaware and Trenton, New Jersey, how it was the first battle that generals won. And that was Christmas Day. They started out on Christmas Eve about 11 o'clock. At least that's what I think. And so if you flip the script, or if you only do what Q says, think mirror, the first battle was won on Christmas Day. So what I'm thinking is happening is it's going to look like we lose, and it might be the big one, the big blast kind of thing. I don't know if it's going to start with that or if it's going to be later on. That's just, a guess as to when that might happen. But all of us will be ready. We're not going to freak out unless you don't like loud noises. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I already told you about Debbie Harry. I have a whole bunch more on. I missed this part. Let's see. Oh yeah, she was wearing purple, and she says mon chéri, and chéri is 48 hoax, and I'm God, and so that was chéri, and then mon chéri is 90, and it's Saint Michael. Okay, gold, and then I used a dash in gematria that you don't ever see dashes or punctuation. But anyway, it was Golde, and I looked at it as Gold E. John, Goldie John, like Blondie, Goldie, but John is in there. And it equals, I am a twin. I'm not a twin, but he's a twin. It equals a whole bunch of things about, wait a minute, I won't get to that part. Okay, Action Man. And duct tape. Now, immediately when I saw duct tape, I thought, oh my, I know what they're talking about. Think about Michael Obama dancing with Ellen. And if they didn't want you to know he was androgynous, whatever you want to say, both in one, they would have affixed things instead of not affixing things while the dance was going on. It was very, very obvious, and there were white pants. Okay, so if you ever want to see that video, just look up Ellen and Michelle Obama dancing, and she's wearing white pants. Okay, so if they wanted to affix certain things, they would have taped, right? Okay, as soon as I saw St. Michael, Goldie John, and duct tape, I knew that I was wrong, especially after Professor Melonhead said all this other stuff. It wasn't Jacqueline, it was John. Okay, so that's pretty funny, isn't it? I crack myself up, it's awful. Okay, so then we have more things about, like, be prepared, Golden Gate, in the dark, magic moon, like my eclipse, right? That I'm always telling you about. And then we also have veganism again. It keeps coming up. And I've been listening to A Christmas Carol by Simon Stanhope that I've talked to you a lot about before, who is John Jr. And I've been listening to it over and over again, and every time I hear certain parts, I notice different things. I could listen to this many, many times. I would get something new from each little section. It's like you listen to it differently. It's amazing, and it's when you listen to his audiobook, it's not like watching the movie. It's not at all like that. There's so much detail, and it's long. I mean, you could just put it on and go around and do some other stuff and just listen, and you'll be fascinated. And then you play that same part again, and you'll hear something new. So anyway, the point I'm trying to get to is, besides the comms, when they're talking about the ghost of Christmas present, they were describing food. The ghost of Christmas present was a giant, and he was, I don't know, bigger than life, whatever, of course. And there was all this wonderful food all around the room, and in Scrooge's home, and there was holly and ivy and all that kind of thing. But mostly they talked about food in the story, the actual story, and you know, like joints of meat or joints of beef. I think it was joints of meat. I don't remember, lamb, on and on. It was talking about mostly meat. And then near the end, they kind of brought up almonds and fruit puddings and things like that. But then when they say, you know, he's supposed to go with the Ghost of Christmas Present, and he's supposed to leave, you know, go with him to see all these things that were happening at that point, at that moment. He said, gone were the joints of meat, gone were this, gone were that. And it was almost all meat. I mean, he might have said puddings or something, was still, he didn't mention much more than that. So anyway, I noticed that it's just the way it comes out. It's just the way, and if you really listen to, I think it's this street scene. I think it's still with the Ghost of Christmas Present, and the street scene is going on, and they're seeing all the wonderful things that the passersby could be looking at and, you know, drooling over for Christmas. And listen to how he talks about, you know, how he talks about the food, and it's like he's promoting the fruits and the vegetables, kind of the onions and the Spanish onions and things like that, you know, and the almonds. So it's like, that's what you're supposed to like, not this other stuff. So that's my veganism thing. I'm not vegan, you know, but anyway, trying to be vegetarian for right now. And I went off it when I went to visit for Thanksgiving, but we're getting there. Okay. So I said, oh, and another thing that was matched Mon Cherie at 90 was PEDOPHILE. So that's what's going on, right? You know that the witnesses were up to no good, and they were deceived by the devil, right? I've forgiven them. I don't know about you, but I have. I forgive you guys. You know that. Let's see. And the title of the song that was on this little Muppets, Debbie Harry, Blondie video clip was Call Me. You know, call me on the line, call me any, whatever, anytime. And Call Me is 46, and that's Juan, as we've been talking about. It's also Frog, like we said. So anyway, and I should have noticed when I thought it was Jacqueline, you know, I should have noticed that there was kind of awkward dancing going on. And I should have just noticed that the hips were slim, you know, because women's hips are wider. So I should have noticed that in the beginning, but I didn't. So, okay. So here's just a few of the people that Junior is, besides my guys, Simon Stanhope, who I was just talking about, Simon Stanhope on Bite-Sized Audio Classics. That's where you can hear A Christmas Carol, and Magpie Radio. Besides all those guys, and they sound different because they're always using different accents and different characters. Sinead O'Connor is he played Sinead O'Connor. Was that the 90s? I can't remember. And let's see, Sherry, a friend of mine from Canada, helped me figure that one out. I started looking into it, and she pointed me to, what was his name? Banksy, the street artist. You know, his art, if you can get a hold of it, is, or if somebody has it and sells it, like a bench or whatever that's got his art on it, that he's Junior too. I can't go into all of the confirmations, it would take forever, but he's Banksy. So look up Banksy, Banksy. Now, doesn't that make sense because of getting rid of the banks, right? The big banks. And he's Cyrano de Bergerac in a past life. And Vincent van Gogh. I've had decodes on all of this, some in videos, mostly in videos. Michelangelo. It's Michelangelo. He's also, at this point in time, he's also Bushcraft Bear. And I have one about the La Palma volcano somewhere in my videos. And you can, he's still on, I think he still goes live, and you can watch him, and it's all coded. Just pick out a phrase that he says and work on it on your own. Yeah, oh, and Greg Wagland, I was telling you about Magpie Radio, is one of the juniors. And it could be JFK too. I still don't know about that. But he had a multi-part book series, and it's called Lupin, Lupin. And in the plot, the big part of the plot is the blonde lady, like Debbie Harry. So that's fun, huh? Oh my gosh, this is way too much fun. And I'm sorry I haven't been on sooner. I kind of took a break. I'll do better. Let's see. Oh, and I was on with Juan when Tom was here, which is so exciting. Thank you, Juan, John, Jr., Joe. And he said, he acts like he gets distracted, but it's all comms. Everything he does is comms. I know I say that all the time. But early in the broadcast, with the one that I was on with Tom, I think Right Side Blonde, Rachel was there too. And he says, I can't shut off the notices that come in, like he, on his phone, right? And like he doesn't, come on, he knows how to shut off his notices. If anybody does, he does. And so, okay, so I'm thinking he's talking about prayers. That's what I'm thinking he means. He can't shut off the notices that keep coming in. He hears, he knows, he just knows what all these prayers are. He's just got this multi-dimensional brain that we can't comprehend, like a lot of them. So, can't shut off. Because I learned how to do gematria from By the Book. That channel that used to be on YouTube, By the Book, and now it's called By the Book and Straighter Raven. And they don't really talk about gematria too much lately, I don't think. But anyway, that's how I learned to do it. So can't shut off is 133. And I always forget. A is 1 in coding, Bible coding, all the way through Z is 26. And I got itchy nose like I always do. I think it's a nervous habit. Can't shut off is 133. I am the Christ. Can't get any more obvious. Savior of man. Witnesses. I'm always talking about witnesses, the witnesses. Live free or die. Like that could be a literal thing. Like he's going to go most likely during this beast event. Or it could be wrong. It could be not him too. But that's our state motto here in New Hampshire, live free or die. It's on our license plates. And I thought that was fun because, so we had live free or die and also cat eyes or cat's eye, either one. And my nickname is Cat. And I'm thinking about trying to introduce myself as, it's me, Mrs. Handy, are you? This is Cat. Mrs. Handy, are you? Whatever. I don't even know how I say it when I don't start right from the beginning. But anyway, so yeah, my dad and my aunt called me Cat, and I love that. Okay, and Can't Shut Off is Las Vegas, Nevada, where Juan talked from a lot, from the Trump Hotel. And The Great Escape. And I think what they did was they helped President Kennedy not die on the cross, and that they all did it, because remember Juan said they all did the murder from like on the plot of the murder on the Orient Express. So let's see what else matches. Okay, another 133 from Can't Shut Off is food shortage, and there won't be a real food shortage. It will look like there's one. This is a hoax, President Trump phrase. And QAnon drops. That also makes me think of the Beast event on a ship, you know, like they'll drop and they're going to be all chained up, just like on A Christmas Carol. It's going to be awful, you guys. I mean, besides seeing people, you know, like that with the thing and the water and all that, they'll be all chained up, just like the ghost in A Christmas Carol, like Jacob Marley. I mean, really, it's going to be awful. And you'll hear it. It'll be awful. Let's see. And the second part of that statement he made, can't shut off, and then notices that come in is 193, and it equals Diana is Mother Mary. So I think that's it. Awesome. USA financial collapse and imminent return. I don't know if that pertains to December or not. And global economic reset. The fall of man from Eden. I miss my brother. You know, Joseph Patrick Kennedy Jr. is the twin brother of President Kennedy. And I know I have a video about that. Let's see. Remember Pearl Harbor? Trump was right. And President Trump says that, you know, when he's like talking about, he'll talk at a rally and he'll say, yeah, people tell me, yeah, Trump was right, you know, to do all these things. And let's see. Yeah, I won't go into more of what Juan did because I didn't do a whole decode on it, and I don't know why I didn't. This is only like part of what I have, and then I have a bunch on my phone, and Tom's been having me do more things on the phone, which is helpful, but I also think it helps me remember writing it. I'm one of those people that remembers better once it's written, like the action of writing, you know, physically doing it. It helps me remember. I wouldn't say remember great, but at least I kind of remember. Okay, and this is about Banksy. Yeah, I already told you about Banksy, the street artist. Yep. So got that. Oh, and this is interesting. Let's see, it was on December 5th, and there was a power outage in Moore, M-O-O-R-E, Moore County in North Carolina, supposedly, and 45,000 without power, 45, right? And I noticed in Jewish gematria, although I don't usually do that, but, you know, ever since the way this website changed, you kind of can't avoid seeing the Jewish gematria. But it was 1,008. And I can't believe it matches. And Vega test. So test is in there. So Moore County, that was for Moore County and Jewish. And then in Moore County in simple is 164. And then we have Ready Player One, kind of like we just had a minute ago. Reserves ready. I gave fair warning. Over the target, which is a cue phrase, and meteor shower. So things are going to start happening. And then deliberate was in quotation marks or quotations. I'm not sure how you're supposed to say it. So deliberate is, it was in a CBS article in case you want to see it. And just look up, you know, Moore County power outage and they'll look for a CBS article. It's deliberate is 81 and it's beginning, arrest, incredible, and the fool. So certainly sounds like things are happening. I got my papers out of order. I don't know. I've got so many things I want to tell you guys. Anyway, so the Biden, I was going to say president. He's not president. So the Biden, as I always say, he jogs over to pardon the Thanksgiving turkey. Remember how that's done every year before Thanksgiving? It was on Fox Business if you want to see it. And it was just so funny. It was on the 21st. And I'm going back a ways because I haven't been on a video in so long. So he jogs over to say hello to a governor in the crowd, stage left. And first thing he said was, "Hello, Brooklyn Middle School," as he got to the microphone. But what happened was he was jogging over there, and you saw a guy in the middle of the crowd with a big white, like a cowboy hat on. He didn't go over and talk to that person, but he talked to someone else kind of in front of him. So anyway, Junior was there, definitely. Let's see. So, hello, Brooklyn Middle School, 231. It's "Let's get ready to bumble." And President Trump puts those little video clips up about Biden making mistakes, like on purpose. That's what it's called, "Let's get ready to bumble." That's the title of the video. So 231 is the calm before the storm. It's like central casting. And that's a President Trump rally phrase. My people hear my voice. So we're hearing who is God. I mean, let's think about how exciting this is, you guys. You guys are so, I don't know, privileged or blessed, whatever you want to say, that we know what's going on, at least to a point, right? We don't know everything by any means, but at least we get the gist of it, and we can, at least for some of these characters, I'm sure, probably not all of them you agree with me, but maybe for some or one or something, but we are hearing his voice. My people hear my voice. Let's see. What else do we have? God's holy wisdom wife. You are the news now. That's a cue phrase. God speaks with gematria. And what else is good? Oh, elephant in the room. So the calm before the storm is elephant in the room. And also, every time you hear President Trump or someone say Hillary Rodham Clinton, that's what they're saying. The calm before the storm. It equals the same thing at 231. And, so at 35 seconds, he says, when there's a governor in the room, you got to stand up. So this is what the Biden is saying at the microphone. So that's who he's supposed to be going to say hello to. Now, maybe I'm wrong about it was Junior because it was at 35. It could have been President Kennedy. I mean, I couldn't tell from looking at the person. Let's see. Governor is 114, and it equals JFK Jr., Junior. That's why I kind of think it was Junior. Activation. I think you've all been activated, whether you know it or not. I really think you are. And be not afraid, just chill. And Saint Michael. Oh, and wedding ring. I forgot. Wedding ring matched 114, governor. And I was thinking of ring, not just as like a marriage and that. I was thinking of the ring of fire eclipse, you know, where all you see is the corona of the sun and then it's all black in front of it. So that's another way I was looking at ring, wedding ring. And pepperoni matches. And Juan told me after an interview, this was January or February, it was a while ago, he said an old man told him that he feeds his dog pepperoni to keep parasites away. And it kills the parasites, so the pepperoni, I guess. And pepperoni matches. So pepperoni matches JFK Jr., 114. So he was saying, yeah, I'm JFK Jr. Let's see, I don't need to go into all of this. Let's see. Oh, I tried on my own, you know, just for fun, because most of this was what the Biden was saying. I tried Diana pardons a turkey. It's 217. And it's a couple of cue phrases. Trust sessions and buckle up, buttercup. So I don't think that's a coincidence. So it could have been Diana was playing the Biden. Who knows? Sometimes I can't tell whether it's a man or a woman anymore. And with a suit on, you can't really tell about hips. And plus they could pad them one way or another. They could pad the upper body. I don't know. So that is a mystery right now. And let's see. So 217 is save our country, which is a President Trump phrase. And what else does it mean? Married after rapture. So I still don't think Diana and Junior are married already. I really don't. I used to think they were. I'm at the point where I don't think they're married. Let's see. I tried John pardons a turkey. I didn't get as much from that one. Maybe I did. I'm going to look at it again. Okay. There's a lot of them, so I'm just going to scan it. John pardons a turkey is 235. The world is waking up. Then we have the Blessed Mother Mary. And then another cue phrase, expand your thinking. That one special person matches. The unselect committee matches, President Trump phrase. And President John Kennedy matches. So I'm not sure. I had a lot of women, things that pertain to women that matched in here more than men by a long shot. So I'm not sure about that one. But I thought I'd tell you. So anyway, I think that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed your Yule log. And anyway, if you've held on this long, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for your comments. That always pushes it forward, you know, for YouTube to recommend. And I appreciate that. And I read every comment, you know, unless it's been a few days, then I probably won't get to the comment. But anyway, I hope everybody's doing okay, hanging in there. And keep your peanut butter under your bed. Peanut butter and crackers. And anyway, I will be recording another video and I'll put it up a couple days after this one. So I love you guys. And please think about the Spooky 2 donations. I'll have links after the video description, and I'm on Patreon and all those things, you know. So thanks a lot. Bye-bye.